This is what we're making today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited about this tutorial, I can barely keep it together. Today, we are going to be using our Cricut Maker and some fabric, this beautiful fabric that I purchased from Joann with one of my favorite products, which is Caesar Glitter Vinyl. I am going to take you step by step through the full process of creating the design, letting my Cricut do the cutting, and then pressing it with my HTV Ront Auto Press 2. I'm going to take you step by step through the full process. At the end of this video, before you like the video, I want to know if you're going to try this if you get all the way to the end. But at the end, if you do find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and then dive right in to Cricut Design Space. The materials that I'm using for this tutorial include my Cricut Maker. I'm using the original fine point blade that came with the Cricut Maker. I'm using fabric that I purchased from Joann. I'm using Heat and Bond in the red pack, the Ultra Hold. I'm using Caesar Old Gold, and I'm using a black sweatshirt. This is a Gildan, and I think it's a dry blend, so it's a blend of cotton and polyester. The design will be created in Cricut Design Space, and all of the information, including these links, will be below in the description. The heat press that I'm using is the HTV Ront Auto Press 2. Let's go into Cricut Design Space. I am in Cricut Design Space, and I am connected to my Cricut Maker. The first thing I'm going to do is go over here to the left and click on text. And I am not going to use a Cricut font. I'm actually going to use one of my system fonts. And the font that I'm using is, I think I want to use one that's called University, like that. And I am going to make it bigger, and the text that I'm typing is just the word loved, L-O-V-E-D, and I can close this out now. And what I want to do is go ahead and attach my text, and I want to make it taller, and I also want it to be wider, maybe not that wide, maybe right at about 10.5. And the next thing I want to do is click on the option to warp the text. And I think I want to go with number 5. Let me see. Number 5 looks good. I think I like number 5. Okay. And so the width of this is still right at 10.5. And I'm actually going to change this to red. These red letters will represent the fabric. The next thing I'm going to do is click on Combine and Unite. And I'm also going to click on Merge Layers so I can truly have one layer. Now, I don't know if you could tell, but I did not have the option to weld the text, which is fine. Unite will take the place of that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is go up here to offset, and I want to add an offset to this. The offset will represent the glitter vinyl layer. I don't want it to be this thick though. I want it to be, let's try 0.15. And let's see how that looks. I think I'll stick with 16. 0.16, I'll click apply. I think that looks pretty good. Now, what I want to do with my offset is I am going to make sure I have both layers selected, the word loved and the offset over here in my layers panel. With both layers selected, I will click the option to slice. Okay. And since this red layer represents the fabric, this inside layer is what would have been behind the fabric. And I actually want the fabric to be on the sweatshirt. So I'm going to delete this. And this will be my gold layer of glitter heat transfer vinyl. So let's just change this to gold. This is going to look like this. And the only other thing I want to do is just add a little bit of text down here at the bottom. And I want it to be a script font. So I'm going to click over here on the T, and I'm going to change my font from university to, I think there's one called digital. Let's see if I like that one. No, there's one called Masterbaker. I got that one from defont.com. I like that text. I like that font a lot. I'll close this out and I'll bring my text over here. I'll double click in here and just type John space 316 like that. And I do want this to be a lot bigger. I think this looks great. Let's select all of this and let's click the option to align, and we want this centered horizontally like that. I think this looks great. So with this, we can go ahead and weld it, and this looks great. So this layer of text will also be gold. So I can go ahead and change this to the gold. And so I'm going to select the John 3:16. I'm going to hold my shift key and I'm going to select the gold layer of the word loved. And I can go ahead and attach those so they stay together. Now I'll click make. Okay, so for this first layer, I am going to just move this down just a little bit so the fabric doesn't get snagged up here at the top. I'll click continue, and for my fabric layer, I am going to come over here and select browse all materials, and I'm going to scroll down to the cotton bonded. That's what I'm going to select. I'll click done. Now, before I actually put the fabric on the mat, I am going to apply the heat and bond to the back of the fabric. But everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera. So I have my fabric right here, and what I'm going to do is just make sure I cut enough fabric to go all the way across, because remember the width of my design is right at 10.5, so I'm going to go all the way to the 11. So this is the Heat and Bond Ultra Hold, and it's for no sew. It's great for fabric, patches, denim, blah, 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 blah. So cut this open. There's a rough side, and then there's a side that's smooth. The side that's rough is what goes on the back of your fabric. So I'm going to get a piece of this. And I know I need to go over at least to the 11, but I'll go over a little further, and I need to come down at least, I would say, just to be on the safe side, at least to the 7. So I'll come down to the 7 because I did move my image down just a little bit. And I don't want this part of I don't want this part of the fabric to be on my image. So when I put the heat and bond on here, I'm just going to cut below that. Okay. So I can get this folded up. And it's okay if the fabric is a little bit bigger than the heat and bond. Now I have my heat press set to 260 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. So I'm going to place this down on the heat press with the fabric up and the heat and bond on the back. Remember, the rough side of the heat and bond is what's on the back of the fabric. Let's move over to the heat press and press this down. Okay, I have my fabric, and I'm going to put this on the heat press, and I'm going to press this for 15 seconds. Now, heat and bond is actually a cool peel, so I'm not going to peel this off. I'm actually going to place this on the mat with the backing still on it. So let's go back over to the Cricut and to an overhead view so that I can show you how I'm going to get this cut out. Okay, here's my fabric. It still has the backing on it, and here's my mat. I am going to place the fabric on the mat in the same position it was in Cricut Design Space. Now I do have a lot of overlap over here, so I am going to cut that because it won't go through my Cricut like that. And I don't want any issues or drama. I'm gonna get this inserted. Remember, my setting was on cotton bonded. I do not have the fabric mirrored. It's not mirrored. Okay, so I am going to go back to Cricut Design Space and I'm going to press the flashing C. Okay. I'm using the regular fine point blade. That's the regular fine point blade. Right, before removing the mat from the machine, let's take a look at it and see if it cut all the way through, because definitely don't want to do that. It does not look like it cut all the way through. So instead of removing this, I'm going to press the flashing C and let it cut again, because it doesn't look like it did it. Okay, let's take another look at it, see if it cut through. Okay, it looks like it did. That looks great. Look at how pretty this is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now it did cut through. I'm going to get this removed. And now I'm going to get the glitter vinyl placed on the mat. Now, because I'm using glitter vinyl, that will need to be mirrored in Cricut Design Space. Okay, I have my glitter vinyl on the mat. Remember, with heat transfer vinyl, specifically glitter, you place the glitter on the mat with the shiny or the pretty side face down. Now, my mat is not very sticky, so I did add a little bit of tape, and I'm going to, see that? Be careful about that. Let's try that again. We will get this cut out and we'll be ready to weed it and get it pressed on the shirt. I'm so excited about this. My glitter vinyl should be complete. I'm pretty sure it did cut the way that it was supposed to. I just want to make sure you see that I'm using my regular fine point blade. Nothing spectacular about it. And let's remove this. I think it's pretty good. Let's remove this and get this weeded. I have it weeded. It looks great. letters right here. Look. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. This is very, very exciting. This is exciting. Okay, so I could take this out. Take this out. This is so pretty. Take this out. All right, so now let's move over to the heat press. I have my sweatshirt right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is crease it down the middle just by folding it in half. Put my heat press out. The temperature is on 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 seconds. Now I'm grabbing my layer of glitter vinyl and I am going to pull this out. And here's my layer of glitter vinyl. Going to put this 3 fingers from the bottom of the collar. I don't like to come down too far. That looks great. And I'm going to press this. I'm putting parchment paper on top. I'll press this for 20, maybe 20 seconds, not even that long. Because glitter, the Caesar brand doesn't have to be pressed that long. And then I'm going to remove these letters and get those pressed inside. It's going to be great. Okay, this is what we have so far. It looks pretty just like that. It looks pretty just like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is remove these letters from the backing. So remember that backing is still there. Now with the letters, it feels like a little bit of adhesive. It feels like I can feel the adhesive. I'm going to put these here. This is so pretty. Oh my gosh. So let's do 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Dun, da, da, da. Ooh. This is so pretty. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at how gorgeous this is. I love it. Now I do need to lint roll this. I do need to lint roll it, but it is so pretty. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.